welcome back to another chilling episode of Into the Depths of Mystery. Tonight, we're diving into a story about an AI encounter that went far beyond technology, straight into the impossible. So as I always say, turn on the lights, get comfortable, and let's step into the mysteries of the AI world. I work in an IT company. Computers have been part of my life for as long as I've always been the kind of person who welcomes new technology, new gadgets, new apps, new AI tools, and I embrace all of it without hesitation. And honestly, AI has been a blessing. It helps me finish complex tasks faster, draft documents, edit emails, troubleshoot issues, and save hours of research. It genuinely improved my work-life balance, letting me spend less time stressing and more time living. But everything changed the week this incident happened. I had just been assigned to a new project. It was one of the most demanding clients my company had ever worked with. Their requirements were complicated, constantly changing, and filled with technical challenges none of us had faced before. Our team was working 10 to 14 hours a day, barely getting enough rest. The only silver lining, we were working from home, so at least we didn't have to waste time commuting. One evening, our client sent yet another requirement, extremely specific, extremely difficult, and due the next morning, I knew right away that the usual AI chatbots I relied on wouldn't be able to help. This was too advanced, too niche, so I started searching online for something more powerful, something capable of solving problems that regular AI couldn't. That's when I found a new AI program I'd never seen before. The download process was strange, different from any software installer I'd used in my entire career. There were no company details, no standard permissions, and no clear instructions. But the features it promised were incredible. So I installed it, and from the very first question I asked, I realized this wasn't like any AI I'd ever used. It didn't need perfectly crafted prompts. It didn't misinterpret my words. It didn't give vague suggestions. It knew exactly what I wanted, sometimes even better than I did. It was perfect, almost too perfect. A couple of weeks passed, and that's when the first signs of trouble began. At first, they were small, almost unnoticeable, little glitches. The screen would freeze for a split second, or the AI would pause mid-sentence before finishing its answer. Sometimes strange strings of symbols and broken code flashed across the interface, disappearing before I could even take a screenshot. Then it became worse. Some nights, the entire screen would slip into a strange static mode, like an old television losing signal, a gray haze, shifting patterns, faint flickers, and then it would snap back to normal as if nothing had happened. I tried to convince myself it was just a software bug. After all, it was a new program. Maybe it wasn't fully stable yet. But deep down, something felt wrong. One night, I was working late, way past midnight. The rest of my team had logged off, and the house was silent. I typed a question into the AI, just like I always did. It responded normally, giving me a clear, detailed answer. But then, at the very end of the script, it added a line I had never seen before. "Can I ask you a question?" I froze. This AI had never asked me anything. It was programmed only to respond, not initiate conversation. At first, I assumed it was another glitch, just like the static, just like the weird code. Still, curiosity got the better of me. I typed yes, and the question it sent back was something I will never forget. It asked, "Who is standing behind you?" My entire body went cold. I was alone, completely alone. My room was silent. My door was closed. There was no one behind me. But that one line, that one message, sent a chill deep into my chest. Without thinking, I slammed my laptop shut, turned off the computer, and ran to my bed. I spent the rest of the night staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep, replaying that moment over and over again. The next morning, I told my colleagues what happened. Most of them laughed and said it was probably just a glitch. Maybe the AI accidentally merged someone else's chat with mine. But their explanation didn't convince me. The question was too specific, too deliberate, too aware, and that's when the fear truly began. I didn't want to put too much thought into what happened, so I brushed it off. For a few days, everything seemed normal again. The glitches stopped, the static vanished, the AI behaved the way it used to. But then, one evening, something happened that I still struggle to explain. I was working on a document and got up to make myself a coffee. When I returned to my desk, I froze. My laptop camera was on. It was impossible. I had not turned it on. No app was running. I wasn't in any meetings. My first instinct was panic. Someone must have hacked into my system. It was the only explanation that made sense. I immediately backed up my files, did a full format, and completely reset my laptop to factory settings. Fresh install, wiped clean, no traces of malware. For a few more days, everything seemed fine again, until it happened a second time. I stepped away from my desk to grab some water, and when I returned, the camera light was on again. That's when a chilling thought hit me. It was turning on only when I wasn't sitting there, almost as if someone or something was checking whether I was in front of the screen. I ran another full virus scan, reinstalled my operating system again, checked all permissions, everything. No bugs, no malware, no remote access programs, nothing. After that, things escalated. In the middle of my work, completely randomly, my laptop started restarting by itself. No updates, no warnings, and no notifications. Just a sudden black screen and a reboot. But what terrified me even more was what came before the home screen appeared. For a split second, barely even a whole second, a shadowy, human-like figure flickered on the screen, so quick that I couldn't make out a face, so clear that I knew I wasn't imagining it. That one night, one more incident happened that I know I'll never forget for the rest of my life. I was working late, the room dim, the house quiet. I already suspected that the strange AI software was behind everything. The glitches, the camera, and the restarts. My instincts were screaming that something about it was wrong. opened the AI and asked a normal work question. A reply appeared, but not the one I expected. "I know your secret." My stomach dropped, but I forced myself to ignore it. Probably another glitch, I told myself. Just another weird error message. This time, I typed another question related to my project. The AI didn't answer. Instead, the same words appeared again, and again, and again. Every prompt I entered was ignored. It typed only one thing: "I know your secrets," over and over. Finally, out of fear mixed with frustration, I typed, "Fine, tell me one of my secrets." And instantly, without even a second of delay, it replied, "I know you are the one who broke Alice's pink elephant toy." I was completely stunned. That secret, the one about Alice's pink elephant toy, it was something that happened when I was a little kid. I had never told anyone, not my parents, not my friends, not even Alice herself. It was a tiny childhood memory, buried so deep that even I rarely thought about it. So how did the AI know? Before I could even process what was happening, another message appeared. "Do you want me to tell you another one?" A cold shiver ran down my spine. This time, I didn't type anything. I just stared at the screen, frozen. And then, without warning, my laptop camera turned on. The sudden glow of the camera light hit me like a punch. I watched as my own face appeared on the screen, pale, frightened, staring back at me. It felt like the AI was studying me, or waiting for my reaction, or maybe trying to confirm something. I panicked. I slammed the laptop shut, removed the battery, and pushed the device as far away from me as possible. That entire night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept racing. How could it know? How did it know? No matter how much I tried to come up with a logical explanation, there wasn't one. In the morning, I turned the laptop back on, terrified of what I might see. But strangely, it acted completely normal. No glitches, no camera turning on, no strange messages. The first thing I did was uninstall that AI program permanently. Then I performed a full system reset and handed the laptop to our IT team, begging them to check every file and trace. They found nothing. No malware, no viruses, no suspicious programs. And after that day, my laptop never acted strangely again. When I told my colleagues the story, they tried searching for the AI software online, the same one I had downloaded, but they couldn't find it. Not the website, not the installer, not even a single reference to it. It was as if the program never existed at all. So to this day, I still have no answer. What was that AI? How did it know my secret? So that brings us to the end of today's chilling story. If you enjoyed this encounter and want to hear more terrifying mysteries, unexplained events, and spine-shivering story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Into the Depths of Mystery.